Hello, fabulous fans and superstars of my dear friend Nadiya Shah. I am Yuriria Robles and I welcome you to the prediction for the sign of Libra for the month of October 2025. When the sun passes through the sign of Libra, the essential thing is to welcome autumn, which opens the second half of the year when the amount of light and darkness is balanced for the second time. Although the length of the night is gradually increasing, it is a natural effort that requires actions to stabilize existing conditions, precisely seeking justice, literally and figuratively. Let us remember then that the justice that comes from the system has nothing to do with what each of us wants or thinks is right, but rather with achieving a broader perspective, and this, in honesty, is not something easy to perceive, much less understand. It takes time for us to adapt to what the heavens have in store, and we only understand the message later. For this reason, it's important to understand the order of the solar system and its movements. This way, we'll have more tools to know what awaits us and, most importantly, how to take advantage of it. The sun's passage through your sign compels you to take care of yourself and recognize your elegant and refined ways. This year, even your thoughts must find a way to recognize that your efforts to feel secure in the professional and social spheres must confront misunderstandings and hurt feelings with your partners and spouses. From October the 1st to the 7th, Venus is in Virgo and Mercury is in Libra, which speaks of an exchange of energy between your thoughts and your desire for diplomacy, to be well liked, to find balance and justice. However, due to the position of your ruler in Virgo next to the South Node, the key is to let go of the desire for perfectionism and focus on serving others, creating a broader vision of reality and supporting everyone in organizing whatever results in the liberal sphere. On October the 7th, Venus continues in Virgo while Mercury advances into Scorpio. Mental focus will be stronger as it also reaches Mars, its ruler, in this sign. Now, thoughts will be more focused and in harmony with actions. This requires effort because Scorpio's determination and concentration don't allow for pleasing everyone. Rather, they seek to achieve their own goals, resources, and values. You'll have the energy to let them flow, provided you don't doubt yourself. The full moon on October the 6th is special because it concerns relationships in both directions, those we have with our parents due to the opposition between the moon and the sun, and those we establish with our peers because the moon is ruled by Mars and the sun is ruled by Venus. From this perspective, now try to be clear about who you relate to and why. In more mundane terms, does your partner resemble your mother or your father? Are your relationships even similar to those your parents had? This lunation is a very important time to recognize that what others reflect back to you brings the message of being proactive, not aggressive. The relationship between Venus and Mars during this lunation is somewhat complex, and there may be confrontations between what we want and what we actually do, especially since the sign where these planets are located propose different methods, one of service and the other of personal focus. These tendencies in us could only come to an agreement if we stop to carefully analyze what we truly desire and how we work to achieve it. The sign of Libra imposes attention on relationships, but it's really about searching within yourself to find out where you truly stand when relating, since it involves a person and therefore you can't please others, at least in the sense of commitment, which is the value upheld by the position of Mars in Scorpio, its rulership. So now thoughts will be more fixed and in harmony with actions. As for Venus, just as it enters Libra and manifests its maximum expression, it will face an opposition to Neptune in Aries, which will bring a desire to go out and pursue the ideal, planning romantic and artistic adventures. It is truly a moment to evaluate what began at the first meeting of these planets on May the 1st and 2nd, 2025. These contacts happen so quickly that you may not remember what was sown. So now is an excellent time to reflect on the ideal, on how you should act to achieve as close as possible to what you imagine. As support in your search, I tell you that 14 years the dialogue between those planets will lead you to manifest the extraordinary in some way. The effort is personal and your growth depends on you, not on what others do, which in itself is a challenge for Libra, who always wants to count on others. This is important because Neptune is in Aries, ruled by Mars, which from October the 17th to the 22nd will have a harmonious contact with the nodes, which return to the topic of relationships and goals, which must leave behind a very specific vision to conclude everything that is emotionally pending. With this, you will be able to move forward to what's next in your life. Returning to Mercury, from the beginning of the month, an internal demand will be established to review what gives you security, the attempts to achieve it, the failed actions, and the order we must follow to satisfy all the demands for security, healing, and commitment in relationships. Then, on October the 6th, it enters Scorpio, which will focus thoughts, but communication will be more active, ardent, and combative. On October the 21st at 6:24 a.m., we will have a new moon in your sign in a confrontation with your growing need for security and the original wound that needs to be addressed to move circumstances forward over the following months. Above all, in the face of changes and new ideals that are still not very clear. The change is felt, but it cannot yet be defined. On October the 22nd, Neptune re-enters Pisces for the last time, only to the 29th degree, where it will remain until January 25 of 2026. This signals a completion, a culmination, and a destiny where the last lesson of the sign is learned before moving on to the next. For 14 years, we have experienced the best expression of Neptune in its modern rulership. It brought the frank and open entry into other levels of perception, the entry into the culture of altered states of consciousness with the advantages and risks that this entails, and a reconsideration of your spirituality. It also involves closing emotional processes, understanding their message. On October the 23rd, the Sun enters Scorpio, preceded by Mars and Mercury. On that very day, the Moon, now in its new phase, is also in this sign, making this moment a period of important focus and emotional intensity. Furthermore, in supreme harmony with Jupiter in Cancer, along with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Scorpio's emotional intensity encourages your efforts in resources and values. You will work for them and achieve social and professional success. This is a peculiar time of the year because the emotional harmony in the air will allow you to reconnect with the original wound and the one that occurred when you were most vulnerable. However, now you will have the emotional strength to realize the corresponding lessons. In short, you will understand the lesson, and only then will you be able to accept the reasons of what happened. Take advantage of this time until November the 7th to stabilize your emotion, facing the fear of losing security and changing what is established, even if it hurts. Due to the harmony between Jupiter and Saturn, which will help you grow in an orderly manner and mature form, you will express your feelings emotionally and feel secure and stable. Pluto will present you with a conflict on the 23rd due to the tension with the Sun in Scorpio, bringing a clash between what you want individually and what the community, groups, and society in generally consider important, powerful, or acceptable. Uranus and Pluto will continue to present theories, communications, and new reasons to meet and work as a team, which we will achieve if we work to stabilize ourselves emotionally. Note that the new ideas you will incorporate are just emerging, and although you may return to what you know until the end of March for comfort or security, you will actually have to wait until then so for you to begin to discover fully new things, and you will certainly be surprised. You will understand them perfectly. On the 29th, when Mercury advances into Sagittarius, it will oppose Uranus in Gemini, which brings a surprise to the relationships and will lead you to rethink new endeavors in personal and virtual communication. Congratulations, and see you soon!